Hi everybody, welcome back to the Manuscript Brewery Brewhouse. This is Joe Fisher again. I've got a new camera, figured I'd play with it a little today. I've had some requests for a tour of my system, so I figured it'd be a good excuse as any to do it. So we'll get right into it. Hot liquor tank, boil kettle, mash and lauter tun. These are 25-gallon stainless drums. I got these from another home brewer who got them from a pharmaceutical company, which may explain why my beer is so good. Yeah. And this is just a 25-gallon stainless stock pot that I bought online, and the company that I bought it from welded a fitting in the bottom, a half-inch coupler for me. So I'll have a link to that down in the description. So, this is a HERMS system, H-E-R-M-S, which is heat exchanging recirculating mash system. And what that means is, instead of having a insulated cooler for a mash tun, what happens is the grain sits on this false bottom, which sits in the bottom of the mash tun quietly. Comes out the bottom, HS 809 or 809 HS March pump, pumps the hot wort into this coil, which is sitting in, let's say, 156 degree water here. That heats the mash water, the mash liquid, the sweet wort, which then gets recirculated back on top of the mash, and that keeps the mash temperature. So I mean, there are pros and cons of all these systems. HERMS, RIMS you may have heard of, recirculating something mash system, I forgot. But I like this. It works really well. I've used it to do a 20-gallon batch already. It kept temperature all day. It was fantastic. Alright, we're going to give you the grand tour here. We'll give you a demo in action someday when I'm actually making a beer, but we'll give you the quick and dirty tour. We've got here our controller for the hot liquor tank. This is the temperature that it thinks the water's at. This is the temperature I want it set to. This is the controller for the boil kettle, and same idea. This tells me what the temperature is, but this particular controller I have set in manual mode. And in manual mode I just set a percentage of full power. So right now I'm at 70%. That would be if I wanted to maintain a boil. Now if I wanted to, let's say, bring liquid up to a boil, I would probably want 100% power. So I can just crank it up to 100% and we're good to go. So all of these switches, these make the heating elements in the kettles hot. So if this green light's on, that means the heating element's being powered. If the green light's off, that means the element is cold. These are my auxiliary output switches. There's 4 plugs on the back here. You can see the regular house looking outlets back there. And those correspond to these 4 switches. So this is my hot water pump. These 2 I'm not using right now, and this is my wort pump on the other side. So this is my hot water side. He's connected to the hot liquor tank. And that's my wort side. And he's connected to all sorts of stuff with all that fancy hardware. He's connected to the mash tun here and to the boil kettle here. So we're going to take a quick look inside. Come around here. Maybe we can keep some light in. So this copper coil here, this is my heat exchanging coil, and it also doubles as a wort chiller. So right now it's in heat exchanging mode because it's sitting in the hot liquor tank. There would be 156, 157 degree water in here depending on what I'm mashing at. And the wort during the mash gets recirculated through here. It picks up the heat and then gets returned to the mash tun. That way I don't need an insulated mash tun. Boil kettle's very similar. There's also a heating element at the bottom, and over here is a recirculation port. So during chilling, and all I have to do is take this guy and put this guy in here. Now we're ready to chill. During chilling, I'll pull the wort out the bottom through that port there and pump it back in through this angled port. And what that does is creates a whirlpool effect, which does two things for me. The first thing it does is it gets all of the hot wort in contact with the cool coils, and that helps cool things down a lot faster. The other thing that it does is the whirlpool effect causes all the solids to coalesce in the middle, so I end up with a lot less hop junk and precipitated proteins and whatnot in my final beer. So it makes things a little cleaner, that's all. Now this chiller, we've got a tri-clamp fitting here. Right now it's connected to the pump, so that I'd be pulling sweet wort out the bottom of my mash tun into the pump, back up through here, and up through the chilling coil, up through the coils. That would be in HERMS mode for heat exchanging. When I'm ready to chill, I'll disconnect this, and I'll attach this guy, which lets me connect my garden hose. See, this is one of those brass Home Depot fittings. So I can just snap my garden hose on here and then run cold water through the chilling coils to cool down the wort. Alright guys, thanks for stopping by. Always nice to see you. Come inside after this for a beer. And any questions, you know where the comments are. I try to respond to everybody. And I appreciate you watching. So happy brewing.